Welcome to Fresno CityVision. I'm Randy Reed. Police departments all across the country rely on the people they serve to play a role in keeping their communities safe. Whether it's through neighborhood watch programs, anonymous tip lines, or other strategies, police need the public to be aware and engaged in the effort to combat crime. With that in mind, the Fresno Police Department has launched an innovative new system that brings awareness, prevention, and reporting together under the banner of Fresno CrimeWatch. Let's take a look as Mayor Ashley Swearingen and Police Chief Jerry Dyer explained the initiative when it was unveiled.
And we're calling on the citizens of Fresno to help us make an impact now on property crime. And we've got a terrific new tool to do just that.
If we can take the victim out of the equation, then we don't have a crime. And in order for us to do that effectively is we have to arm our citizens with the information that they need to minimize the chance of them ever becoming a victim of a crime in the first place. And that is what Fresno Crime Watch does.
Fresno Crime Watch is active now, and I'm joined by Lieutenant Don Gross from the Fresno Police Department, who can tell us more about this powerful online tool and how the public can benefit from it. Lieutenant Gross, welcome to the program.
Well, thank you for having me here.
Thanks for being here. Let's talk about the strategy behind the launch of Fresno Crime Watch.
Sure. Police departments have traditionally focused on suspects and locations. We patrol places, we go after people. But now we're trying to take a different strategy and really focus on the victim. What can we do to arm people with knowledge, to get them to engage in this fight against crime, and how can we give them that information in a timely, effective way? Okay.
Fresno Crime Watch is an online, internet-based service, so how can people find it?
Very simply, you go to www.fresno.gov, and from the basic Fresno webpage you can find it, or you can go to fresno.gov/CrimeWatch.
Okay. And let's take a look at the Crime Watch page. It's on the screen now, and let's talk about some of the features that folks will see there, some of the tools.
Sure. First you saw the map, which was provided to us by Crime Reports. You also saw the locations. You're now seeing a clip of how they can report through it's a little bit difficult to see there, how you can join Neighborhood Watch, how you can report crimes through Crime Stoppers. We also see a Breaking Crime Trends scroll bar that gives you analyzed information in ways that our community crime prevention analysts have looked at so that you can find condensed issues in your neighborhood. You don't have to go through the map. You can simply look at this scrolling crime bar, click on the issues that are in your area to find out more.
Trends that have been identified.
Trends that have been identified, that detectives have looked at. Oftentimes we will have photos of suspects that are wanted currently, and that's the place you would find them.
Okay, now the crime reports map at the top that we saw is pretty powerful. You can look at a period of time to see crimes that have occurred over a 3-day or a 7-day period. You can filter it by the types of crimes as well. So it seems to be a very useful, powerful tool.
Very useful and powerful. It gives you the ability to put in your address, select a radius around that, and then select the types of crimes that you're worried about. You may not be worried about auto theft if you don't own a car, so you may not want to look at that, but you could be very interested in finding out about suspicious persons, about thefts in your neighborhood, any of those things. And you can have multiple different locations so that you can monitor your business area and where your children go to school as well.
Now, clearly the intent of Fresno Crime Watch and the Crime Reports tool is not to create fear. Quite the opposite. It's to create awareness. But how would you expect and do you want the public to use the information they're seeing on that crime report map?
Just like anything, we want them to be aware of what those potential hazards are in their neighborhood. By becoming aware, people can then search out one another and join things like Neighborhood Watch. They can report anonymously through Crime Stoppers, or if nothing else, they can protect their own property. They can protect themselves and their businesses. We also have videos on the website which give tips, kind of like the old community service officer that came out and did the Neighborhood Watch meetings. This is a 21st century community service officer. It allows any individual to look at that information, and should they notice something occurring in their neighborhood, they can click a button and email that information to their neighbors, their friends, what have you.
That's very interesting. In fact, let's take a moment and take a look at one of the videos that is on the Fresno Crime Watch site. Let's look at it now.
Many vehicle burglaries and vehicle thefts can be prevented by taking a few precautions. Here's an example of a person leaving their car left unlocked, windows down, and personal items left inside in plain view. As you see, there's a laptop, a cell phone, some change, binoculars, and most importantly, there's victim information that somebody could use to do an identity theft.
Now, in this particular case, talking about how to prevent a theft from your vehicle, it would seem some of those tips might be fairly obvious. But on the other hand, a lot of folks do the things that were demonstrated there, and as a result, things are stolen from their vehicles. Is that true?
That's very true. Most people are so busy these days with all of the things that are occurring that they don't remember the basic necessities. And for us, every year when the weather gets cold, we see people losing their vehicles because they go out, start them up, and let them warm up. For years, law enforcement, since the 50s, has been telling people not to do that. And again, we forget. This is a way to remind folks of those things that they already know, to reinforce that, and then maybe to provide them with some other tips that they hadn't thought of or hadn't occurred to them that could be occurring in their neighborhood.
Now, I think there are 5 videos on the site now, and they cover a variety of topics for both home, individuals as well as business owners.
Correct.
Is that correct? And will those be updated over time?
Most certainly. The idea behind a web page is that we can keep this information dynamic. It will never become stale and stagnant because as trends emerge, we will provide those tips and that information that will be current and relevant to what's happening in your neighborhood today.
And we talked about the crime reports map at the top. How frequently is that information updated?
That information is just as current as what officers receive throughout our department. It is updated daily, and that is an automated system. There's no one that has to punch this information in. As soon as the report is taken in the field, it is transmitted to our system, and that's downloaded daily.
Okay. Another way folks in the community can participate in Crime Watch is to sign up for alerts, email alerts and text alerts, both from the Crime Reports page as well as the Crime Watch page. Can you talk about those two features and how they work?
Certainly. The Crime Reports page will allow you automated updates daily, weekly, monthly, however you select them, for the area you selected. So those are just the crime information updates. The text and email alerts from the city will allow us, the police department, and the city to push that information to individuals however they choose to receive it, whether it be through email or text. And it also gives us the ability to almost instantaneously inform someone or a group of people if we perhaps have a missing person or a missing child, a missing adult. If there's an incident where traffic is blocked and we need to update them on that. All of those things become instantaneous when you've signed up.
Okay, and so sign up is simple. You simply go to the Crime Watch page, www.fresno.gov/crimewatch, and all of those options are displayed on the screen. You follow the links, and the information will be easy to follow as far as how you sign up. You give your email address, you give your text number if you want to receive text that way.
Correct.
So are you encouraging people to do that?
We most certainly encourage people to do that. If you can control information and you can get that to the people that need it, the good people, then you're halfway to winning the war. The more information that we can get out there, you don't need to necessarily read it all, but it's at your fingertips as opposed to wondering. So most certainly we encourage them to sign up both for the Crime Watch alerts, but more importantly the City of Fresno alerts.
Okay. What other components of Crime Watch do you think are important for the public to understand as far as the strategy and how you want people to engage? What about the Neighborhood Watch component, for instance?
The idea of Neighborhood Watch is not to go out and stop the criminal, but it's to stop the opportunity for crime to occur. The strategy, again, behind this whole program is to take the victim out of the loop. If you have a suspect, you have a location, you have a victim, a crime occurs.
Those three components are necessary.
Correct. Mm-hmm. And again, we focused a lot on suspects, we focused a lot on locations, but right now, and now is the perfect time to focus on the victim. What can we do to prevent that from occurring? In a time where everyone is resource challenged, from jails to the district attorney's office, if we can keep you from becoming a victim, then we don't have to engage that entire system. And so for us, regardless, even if we catch the individual, it still doesn't prevent you from having been that victim. This is a way that by joining Neighborhood Watch, by becoming aware, we keep you out of that harm's way.
All right, and you can take steps to keep yourself safe. Sounds like a great initiative. Thanks for coming on and discussing it with us today.
Thank you.
All right. My guest has been Lieutenant Don Gross with the Fresno Police Department, and we've been talking about Fresno Crime Watch, which is a new online tool that helps you play a role in reducing crime in our community. To see current information about crimes anywhere in the city, you can go to www.fresno.gov/crimeWatch. CrimeWatch. You'll also find video tips, as we mentioned, on crime prevention, and you can sign up for those crime alerts sent to you by email or your mobile device. That brings us to the end of this edition of Fresno City Vision. Thanks for tuning in. For the City of Fresno, I'm Randy Reed. I'll see you next time.